Welcome to the podcast today. We're going to be doing, for this first episode, rating all of the Pixar films from worst to best. There's 21 Pixar films, and we're going to be going on them. So, with me today is my co-host, Aislyn.
Hi.
Do you want to say anything for today? Nope. And for our guest today, we have Joel.
Yo, I'm Joel.
You are Joel.
Excited to be here.
Thank you. That's good. Awesome. So yeah, today we're going to be rating all the Pixar films from worst to best. We're going to start off with saying our worst Pixar film, which is probably everyone's collective worst Pixar film. If you've watched it, you'll know what I mean. And then we're going to go in groups of 5. So we'll do our 20 through 16, 15 through 10, 10 through 6, and 5 through 1. And we'll go through it that way. And so, yeah, let's get started. So, how we're going to start? Oh yeah, the worst Pixar film ever.
Yep.
Cars 2.
Cars 2.
Okay, so the thing with Cars 2 is that it... How do I describe Cars 2? Like, Joel, can you describe Cars 2? Like,
it's like this weird James Bond type film except with Tow Mater, and also there's Lightning McQueen, kind of?
Kind of? Question mark?
Yeah, kind of question mark.
So, okay. So what they did was they made Cars 2 totally different from what Cars was. And I thought Cars was a good film, and in all rights. But they took what they did in Cars, and they basically got rid of it. They used the same universe, but they made a totally, like, spy film that didn't make any sense within the Cars universe, and kind of distracted from the story. And I feel like it was just a lame copy of trying to get money. It really, the story doesn't blend well, and it kind of falls flat in its face.
It really does. Especially when you add in things like they tried to throw in a bunch of new characters, but then none of them really worked because, like, their entire personality trait is that they're, like, spies, but then they don't really get much, like, besides that.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere. You have this whole subplot of McQueen doing, like, a World Cup throughout the world, and it's more of, like, a long-distance race, but it kind of gets overshadowed by the fact that you have Mater, of all characters, being a spy for this secret organization. So, let's just say Cars 2 falls flat, and arguably anyone who's seen it can say it's the worst Pixar film, because it is.
Yeah.
So, as long as we got that out of the way, we're going to get into our next 5. Aislyn only did 14 films, because she hasn't seen everything. You want to explain yourself?
I am a busy woman.
So,
and
like,
I was out of town on business.
On business. That's a good explanation. I love
That's
that.
a great explanation, yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, so for our top 5, who wants to start for their next 5 films? Joel or...
I could start for next 5. So, bottom 5, going, like, worst of these 5 to best of these 5. The Good Dinosaur, Brave, Monsters U, A Bug's Life, and Cars 3.
Okay.
Okay. Alright, Joel.
What's your worst 2 since you only did...
So I haven't seen Toy Story 2, 3, or 4. I haven't seen Finding Dory, or Cars 2, or Cars 3, or The Good Dinosaur. So, this is a little bit biased, but
Bottom 2.
My bottom 2 are A Bug's Life and the first Cars movie.
Cool. My bottom 5 are The Good Dinosaur, Bug's Life, Finding Dory, Cars, and Cars 3.
So mostly the same except one.
Yes, so we mostly did the same thing, so we can agree that Bug's Life isn't that great.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing with Bug's Life, it was Pixar's second feature-length film. They tried their best to make a feature-length film after Toy Story, because Toy Story blew up. But what the results came up to was it just didn't age well. Like, could you agree?
Yeah, the animation especially in that film, like, when you put A Bug's Life next to other Pixar films, and other Pixar films, you have all kinds of colors and, like, things that define these movies, because you're used to seeing this, but then you look at A Bug's Life and you have all these really weird, like, grays and browns,
scales.
and it, like, doesn't mesh very well.
Could you agree, Aislyn?
Yeah, also, I really hated the way that they gave the bugs faces. I'm sorry. Like, it was...
Like the way they animated it?
I know, but, like, it just really creeps me out, so...
It was very still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels very,
It's really empty.
Yeah. Like,
It's
there's
just,
nothing there.
It's like a husk of a movie.
Yeah.
Could have done so much better with it.
That's true. So, we both put Good Dinosaur as our second least
Yeah.
favorite. I feel like The Good Dinosaur has really good visuals. Like, the visual style of Good Dinosaur is some of the best Pixar's ever done. It's just the storyline kind of falls flat. You have this very Lion King-esque death scene with this very catch-and-go, like, movie that is trying to find its way home, which is basically Inside Out, but Inside Out does it a lot better, and they came out the same year, so... Do you want to elaborate, like...
Yeah, it's, like, kind of trying to be, like, a different type of movie than what it is, because I feel like if they had gone with, like, something original, then it would have gone good, but then they took it, and it's, like, this really weird combination of just, like, I don't really know. And then you get that combined with the random villain twist at the end, which was just... I don't know, it was pointless.
It was pointless. The Good Dinosaur, for all of its flaws, it's a cute movie. It does something with it. I also heard there was a lot of production errors and stuff going on.
It was originally supposed to be a different movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a totally different movie, but they changed the whole plot, and it just shows that Pixar's not perfect, and it shows that like they can adapt to it. And then we all put Cars on our bottom.
Well, I had Cars 3.
You had Cars 3. I had Cars 3. You had Cars 1. Cars. So
it wasn't engaging to me. I haven't seen it in a really long time, so I'm probably a little bit biased, but it just, like, I don't know. There is something about it that was not fun to watch.
That's understandable, especially because it's more geared towards, people that are, like, into race car, like, little kids that are, like, into, like,
not me.
Hot Wheels. Yeah, exactly. How would you elaborate on, like, Cars 3? Because I know I had Cars also in there. I think Cars is a fabulous film. I don't feel like it rates up to what the other films are. And that is saying a lot for Pixar, because Pixar themselves are a very good film studio.
Yeah, and this came out in between, like, what were the movies before? Like, you had Incredibles and then Ratatouille. And it got put between those two.
Those are both really good movies, so...
Well...
Just, like,
we'll see when I get to my list.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, I have some controversial picks in some of my lists. Cars just kind of falls flat a little bit on... It's a good story, good telling. It's just... What happens to the film is it doesn't feel right compared to the other films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And with Cars 3, I feel like it's a lot better than Cars 1, but it still does not go up to what our next films are.
Mm-hmm.
So that is our... And what else did you have? I had Finding Dory. I cannot watch Finding Dory. This is a personal preference. The way Ellen portrays Dory is fabulous. Just... Dory's personality makes me cringe so much that I watched 30 minutes of it and I couldn't stand watching it anymore. So that's my take on Finding Dory. Otherwise, that's all I'm gonna say. Do you wanna...
Yeah, so I also had Monsters University in my bottom tier. I feel like they could have done so much more with, like, a sequel or prequel film, but they just went with this really weird university type story, and, like, it seemed very, very generic. Like, there were some things that really, really worked in its favor. Like, you had some pretty cool animation, like, with the monsters and everything, and how it's, like, this kind of monster world, but at the same time, it's, like I said, just a pretty generic college story.
That's true. I'm talking really loud. Sorry about that. Yeah, I can see where you're getting there, but, we might have different opinions. And...
I really like Monsters University, just because I liked getting, like, the backstory after, like, Monsters, Inc. I liked seeing how all the characters, like, interacted before they all went to work together, adults and whatever, but...
Let's go into our next thing, and when we get to that point, we can do that. So, our next 5, we have for Joel...
I have Finding Dory, Cars, Incredibles 2, Ratatouille, and Finding Nemo.
Okay. I'm a little similar, but we'll go to...
I have Toy Story and Finding Nemo at 12 and 11.
Okay. I have Up, Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, Rave, Toy Story.
Okay. Alright, sure.
We all put... Okay, so we all put Finding Nemo into this ranking. I think Finding Nemo is a fabulous film about...
Yeah, it's good, but...
Yeah.
It's not as good as some of the other ones.
Yeah, but the message behind it is, like, parenthood. like him, like as a father trying to find his son that's lost.
Mhm.
Really, like, I guess would be a different light if we're like more grown up, more
Yeah.
adults. But like as kids, I feel like it just tries to do things for kids that really don't come together.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but when I first saw it, I never understood it at all. It didn't make sense to me, but
There's a lot of weird humor that they try to pull on you.
But I mean, it doesn't really work because we're kids, so.
right, exactly.
Yeah, like, it works, but it just since
Yeah.
we're like at our age, it's kind of like okay, it's kind of cringe. Anyone want to elaborate, Joel, on Finding Nemo?
Yeah, I've always liked the film. It's just, like, there have been so many other Pixar films that I can just place above it because, like Aislyn said, it's a good film, it's a great film, but compared to everything else in the studio, it's just, like...
Falls flat.
Yeah.
Which is... It's kind of how that is sometimes. A lot of people love Finding Nemo.
And, which is understandable.
It's a classic.
Good
Yeah.
movie.
I'd consider it a classic, like, and some people's, like, childhoods, like, at least our age. So... yeah, I can see why people would like that. And then, me and Aislyn had Toy Story 1. I feel like Toy Story 1 is the weakest of all the Toy Stories. Which is saying a lot, though, for Toy Story. Toy Story itself is, like, the franchise, the trilogy, is probably the best trilogy or quadrilogy, like, ever made. It's, I'm being honest, it's up there with Back to the Future, in my opinion, because each film progressed.
Alright, Ethan.
But Toy Story 1, though, is the worst out of all of them, and I feel like Toy Story, the top 10 are better than it. How about you?
I don't know. I put it so low because I haven't, I haven't seen most of these movies in, 6 years. So, I don't remember ever being,
Memorable.
engaged while I was watching that movie. I don't remember most of the storyline, which is saying something, because usually if I really like a movie, it doesn't matter how long it's been since I've seen it. I'll still remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't remember that one at all.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. So,
I had Incredibles 2 in this tier. I'm not sure where you guys have that, but...
oh, yeah, woo! Explain yourself!
Okay, so there's a bunch of things that play out in this movie's favor. Like, it's the sequel to a film that came out 14 years ago. You have that. It's like a really fun movie to watch when you go through and watch it. It's like a really fun movie when you go through and watch it, but at the same time there are just some things that I don't really like about the movie. Like, you have the villain twist, which they could have done that in so many different ways. Like, maybe the brother and sister are working together, but I just don't really get it. Like, why is she working to legalize superheroes, but then she works against legalizing them after she just got them legalized? I never really understood that. And then they do some really good character development, but at the same time, I just don't think it's as good as the original was. And that's my opinion.
Bottom. Bottom 10, though.
Yeah.
Okay, man, I had up in this... Okay.
You need to explain
okay,
yourself.
please.
Okay, Ethan.
Explain Up. Okay, so the first 10 minutes is fabulous. Of Up. It's so sad. The way they tell the story of him and his wife going throughout their life, it's emotionally telling and really, really charming and really beautiful. The reason why I put Up so low on this list is because personally, I really, like you said, I wasn't really engaged into the film. So bear with me. So you have this plot line where his house literally goes up in balloons, and he has a Boy Scout and a dog.
That's magical.
It is very magical, but I had to put Up somewhere, and I was debating on where to put it. And I feel like they could be rearranged with Finding Nemo or Ratatouille. Like, those three could be rearranged in any way. I just don't think Up is, in the top 10. Because I'll understand when I describe my top 10, it's just the way that they had the villain have, talking dogs and stuff, and the way he's...
That's so charming.
So it's cute, but the story... Okay. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just not a big fan of Up.
Okay.
So, I love the first, 10 minutes, and it's really good, and I like the ending. I like the message that Up gives of trying to, love more than, what you like. Basically, like he misses his wife, so he just isolated himself. But there's more to life. I love that message. I just not a big fan as I am with the other films.
Okay.
And what else?
Okay, so I think we both had Ratatouille in this kind of grouping.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille is an amazing film, you are both wrong.
I even went back and rewatched it yesterday, and I still had to place it here. Like,
I rewatched it 2 days ago. Ratatouille is a great film. I love how the message of don't judge a book by its cover, and kind of the like social norms that are put on people.
And
the reason
also brats.
The reason, but that's not the reason why I put it that low though. The reason I put Ratatouille at my number, I'm trying to think what number this is. 14. No, 13. 13. The reason I put Ratatouille at 13 was because the other, I think my top 10 is still better than Ratatouille. I enjoy Ratatouille, but I don't think it's an amazing, wonderful film. I love it. I still like it a lot. I feel like it's a great film a film as a whole. It's very critically acclaimed, but personally, I don't think it's really worth being on that top 10.
Yeah, I feel basically the same, just I put it in 12th instead of 13th. It holds a little bit more nostalgia for me, like just going back and rewatching it and be like, this was like one of my favorite movies when I was a kid, and I still love it today, but it's just not as like great and like just perfect as some of these other films are. So that's
I put Brave above Ratatouille because I also watched Brave recently, and I really like the message that Brave is getting on choosing your own fate, and how maybe you can't change your fate, but what you do to get there is your choice. You like free will and all that stuff, and also like the mother and like family ties. It's honestly a really charming film that I really enjoy a lot, and I cried a lot in it. I love Brave, but I'm sad to put in 12. But it's a great film, and it just testament to how good these other films are. Yeah. So, do you have any more that I did not describe in yours?
I believe that's it, because you guys had Cars and Finding Dory lower than I did. So.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now we're gonna get to more controversial things.
Oh, this is about to go crazy.
10 to 6. Okay, go 10, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I'll start. So, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 4, Monsters, Inc., Coco, Up.
Okay. What's your 5?
I have Monsters U, The Incredibles 2, Monsters, Inc., The Incredibles, and then WALL-E at 6.
Okay. We're gonna have a nice conversation here. Fun. I have Toy Story 2, so
exact same for 10th, yeah.
Monsters U, Toy Story 4, Incredibles 2, and Coco.
Okay,
Coco
so
is such a good movie.
Where do we start? On this?
I mean, we have the
I'm yelling.
We have the same for Toy Story 2, so maybe we should start there.
Yeah. Okay. Toy Story 2 better than Toy Story 1.
Haven't seen it.
Toy Story 2 better than Toy Story 1. Not as good as the other two Toy Stories, in my opinion. I like Monsters U more. I think Toy Story 2 takes what Toy Story 1 does, though, and advances it and makes it better. But how do you like?
So, I feel like with Toy Story 2, I came to the conclusion, like, in my own mind, that it's a great film. Like, I love the film, and there's so much for me that I love about it. But the thing is, when you compare it to the other 3 Toy Story films, it just doesn't hold up as well. But it's still a really good film. Like,
it's totally a top 10.
It's obviously a top 10. Like, they're all top 10s, but...
Yeah, I'm not the Toy Story 1.
Yeah, your Toy Story pretty low.
Toy Story 111. Toy Story 2 just takes what Toy Story 1, advances it, fleshes out the character. You get to see, like, a very Star Wars-y type, like, Buzz Lightyear father moment. I really like Toy Story 2. It's a really great film, really fun.
And it gave us one of the greatest twist villains from, like, all of Pixar, because you have Stinky Pete, and it's like, he's tried getting Woody to do this, like, he's tried asking Nice a bit nice, like, force him.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah, very good plot there. Me and Aislyn had Incredibles 2 in this position. I think Incredibles 2 is pretty good.
I mean, I really like it as a movie, but it really isn't as good as, like, some of the other ones.
I feel like it's not as good as Incredibles 1. I feel like it takes what Incredibles 1 does, and it kind of advances it, but it still isn't as good as Incredibles 1.
Well, Incredibles 1 is, like, it's just, like, really nostalgic for me, because we always used to watch it in, like, daycare. But
it's also, like, Incredibles 1, how do I do... Yeah, we'll get to that when you have Incredibles 1 on this list. So...
Who, did Bolt? The movie?
I think that's Disney.
Okay. I love it.
Bolt is really good. Planes is also surprisingly not on here because it's Disney. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought Planes was on here, but it's not, which is interesting. So yeah, Incredibles 2 it works well, not as good as the original. The original is classic. It's a great film. You have that on your, like, 5th, 7th?
Yeah, the 7th is The Incredibles, and then The Incredibles 2 is 9th for me. The animation is really good, though. Mm-hmm. Like, the whole, like, optical illusion thing really, really got me.
In the theater, it was crazy.
Yeah, I remember watching it, and I remember seeing the warning before we went in, and it's just like...
Wait a minute.
Wait, what's about to happen in this movie?
The Incredibles 2 is a great film to see in theaters. I saw Toy Story 4 in theaters also. And that was pretty good. And that's also on my list for there. So, do you want to talk about Incredibles 1 real quick before...
Sure, yeah. I like it because it's, like, there's something really cute about the whole, like, the kids are, like, everyone's trying to find their place, like, in the world, but they can't because, like, there is something different about them. But I think it's really interesting, like, the way that they developed that. I don't know. I liked it.
It's more of a family film, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that's all I think the similarities we have in that list.
We had Toy Story 4.
Oh, Toy Story 4, me and you.
So...
Toy Story 4, better than Toy Story 2, not good as Toy Story 3.
I heard a lot of, like, rave reviews about it.
A lot of people give it the best Toy Story. I don't think it's the best Toy Story, but it takes what you thought would never happen, because after Toy Story 3, well, Aislyn wouldn't know. You're gonna go watch it now. You're gonna go watch Toy Story 2 and 3.
Great.
Okay. So, Toy Story 4 takes a thing where you would think never would happen, because Toy Story 3 really ends off our characters pretty well. So, you would just think that there wouldn't be a Toy Story 4. But, surprisingly, it works really well. With Woody and the way his character arcs, I have to spoil it, guys. Spoiler alert for everyone here. Sorry.
It's fine.
But we have to spoil the film. The way Woody's arc goes through the film, because in the Toy Story 3 you see the toys arc, like as with Andy and like have an arc through Toy Story 1, 2, and 3. Like the trilogy is concluded, but Toy Story 4 is more within Woody and his character arc, where he is accepting himself for who he is as a toy, and it's really, really interesting and a really cool way to end off the Toy Story.
Yeah, I thought it was a really great way to end it off. Just kind of like, you have the Andy trilogy, that's done, but you're still going with
the toys.
Woody. Yeah, and him finding himself in that film was just really, truly great. The ending, I cried. It got me.
It got me too. Especially when I was at the drive-in, because that's where I saw the film.
Yeah.
It was really emotional. In the first, like, 5-10 minutes, where it's going through Andy, and, like, how he's, like, playing with the toys. Yeah, you kind of tear up, really, in the film. Mm-hmm. The film's really great. I really had low expectations for it, to be honest. I thought they couldn't pull off the fourth one. I thought it was just for money, but they kind of pulled it off, and it actually worked really, really well. Like, very surprisingly really well.
Yeah, and, like, I'm just taking into account the fact that this is rated the worst on Rotten Tomatoes, but it still is, like, 98%. So
yeah.
You know they're doing something right.
Yeah, when it's, like, 97, 98%, it's the worst rated one. Toy Story is great. So, I have Monsters U on this list.
Me too.
Okay, so we have Monsters U.
I mean, like we said before, I liked it a lot, but it really isn't as good as, like, WALL-E or, like, The Incredibles.
Yeah.
It's not quite there.
That's true. Like, Monsters U, I feel like Monsters Inc.'s better than Monsters University.
Yeah.
Monsters University is really unique on the sense of how do monsters learn to scare?
And I loved watching that happen. Like, everybody, like, I liked the characters and seeing them all, like, interact before and, like, learning why they were all, like, the way that they were in Monsters, Inc. But it just wasn't as good as the original.
The original's always better, except in Toy Story's
Plus,
case.
there was no Boo.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, there was no Boo. Aw.
That
kills you.
Yeah, it does.
That kills you so much. Boo! Boo! I want Boo. I want Boo back. Who doesn't?
I think the last one we agree on is Coco.
Coco. Me and you agreed on Coco. So we agreed on, like, we all agreed in a way to each other. So, okay. I watched Coco this morning. First time I've ever watched the film was this morning. I loved it. I love the idea of music and family and the way they connect to each other. It's very beautiful. It really touches my heart, and that's why I put it at number 6 because I feel like my top 5 are better. But I still feel like Coco's message is one of the best messages in Pixar history, and it's one of the best films in Pixar history. The reason why I put the other ones up there is because I think I'm more nostalgic for them, and we'll explain that later. But I feel like Coco, with explaining the afterlife and explaining how you're not truly gone until you cease to be remembered, is very important, especially nowadays, with all this mass media and all this like chaos that's going on, and just trying to be remembered and realizing that family comes first and music is a very important part of life.
Yeah, I really loved it, and you can tell the lengths they went to like get into this film. Like the music is just absolutely
phenomenal.
Incredible. I love the music. It's one of my favorite music scores just in films. And then you also have the animation style is also one of my favorites. The detailed like skeletons that they went with for the film, and everything works in its favor. And then the twist with Ernesto de la Cruz was pretty great too. He was a pretty great villain.
Yeah, because I can say this. Coco, probably the reason why it's not my top 5, it was very predictable. I predicted literally all the plot points.
Okay, but sometimes that's not a bad thing.
But but that's the thing though. I still put it on my 6th though. And there's other reasons why my top 5 is my top 5. And it's been my top 5 for, like, ever. So
I love the message that Coco has, especially, like, that one scene where he's with the guy in the afterlife, and then the guy disappears, and he's like, it's because nobody remembers me, and that really, like, hits me real hard. But also the whole, like,
you said you always remembered.
Yeah.
Through this podcast.
Finding the whole...
It'll be on forever and ever and ever.
The whole, like, finding, like, what you love and, like, who you are through that, it, like, really resonates with me. And I don't know, I love that movie so much.
The movie is phenomenal. It's so good. Coco, just takes tradition, takes, like, Mexican, like, just heritage and stuff, and kind of puts a new light to it, and it makes it really special for family.
Just, like, the way that they, like, made every scene, like, so imaginative and so creative, but still, like, worked humor into, like, such a deep and, like, kind of sad, like, storyline.
It's really good. Oh, wait, do you have anything else in this ranking?
Oh, WALL-E. We should talk about
WALL-E. You put WALL-E number 6?
Yeah.
Oh. Explain yourself.
I like it, but it's really cute. And it gives good, like, social commentary, I guess, about like the planet and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's just, it doesn't hit me like the other ones do.
Understandable. I'll get to my reasons for loving WALL-E in a minute.
So I also have Monsters Inc. in 8th and then Up in 6th. So I know you have Monsters Inc. higher because you haven't said it yet. But so the thing for me is the movie holds quite a lot of nostalgia for me, and I really love the idea of like you have monsters and they're going to scare children to like power their world, and it's just a really creative idea. It's a really fun movie, but the other films in Pixar that are above it are just, like, perfect, basically. Monsters, Inc. does a lot. I really love Randall, and then the twist with Water News, and we get very quotable parts from Mike Wazowski and, like, The Abominable Snowman.
Mhm.
His yellow snow cones.
Yeah, really funny.
I just love that. Yeah, and then I also have Up, which I know you put much, much lower.
Much lower.
I disagree.
It's in your top
Up.
5.
The first, it doesn't make top 5 for me because the next 5 are just so much better, but and that's the reason for a lot of these. It's hard to rank these because it's like you have to put films you love lower because things above it are better. The first 10 minutes of Up are heartbreaking, and even as, like, a 5-year-old in the theater, I remember just crying.
I remember watching Up at the theaters. It was...
Yeah, it was one of the first films I saw in theaters, so it holds a lot of nostalgia for me. And I've seen it so many times, and I still love it every single time I go through. I love the talking dogs and all the characters. Everything's just really great in that movie.
Interesting. Okay, so top 5. We're 30 minutes in. I'll take another 20 minutes.
It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while for top 5. Do you want to go through our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or do you want to go through just the whole top 5?
I think maybe we should go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's do it.
5. We're just gonna blurt it out. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Toy
Story 3.
Me and Joel agree. Okay, so okay, here we go. Me and Joel think Toy Story 3 is 5. Dope. Okay. Toy Story 3, best Toy Story film. Could you agree?
Second best for me.
Second best. Oh yeah, you have another one.
Yep.
Oh, mine is the best Toy Story film. I like how it encapsulated all of Andy's story arc throughout the toys and with it, and it really just, it's really emotional. It's like a prison escape movie with Lonzo, and they're trying to escape the daycare center because all these other toys, and they have the Buzz Lightyear getting in with all the other toys. Have you seen this film?
I think I have seen this film. Is that the one with, like, the pink teddy bear?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I saw, like, the end, like, half hour of it.
That was the one I was...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably the most emotional Pixar movie. Like, the ending especially, just, like...
Because you actually feel like they're going to get incinerated.
Rips your heart out.
Because the toys are in the incinerator, and you're like... They're all holding hands.
This is it.
And
it's just...
It's so sad.
I remember seeing a little bit of that and not, like, knowing the whole story, but still feeling for the pink teddy bear.
Yeah.
Like,
but he's the bad guy.
I know he's the bad guy, but
he's
like,
also really relatable.
Yeah,
like, it's like
I
how in
still love him.
Toy Story 4, it's with the what's her name?
It's with Gabby.
Gabby, yeah. Where she just wanted a child to play with.
But with him, it's more heartbreaking because he had a child and then she forgot about him. And
yeah, because with Gabby, her voice box went out, and so no one wanted her. So she was trying to take the voice box from Woody, so she can have a child to care for her. It's really, I love the villains in Pixar.
Yeah.
Pixar has some great villains. Okay, so you have Inside Out.
I like it. It's a good movie. I put it so low because...
It's not that low, it's 5.
I know, but, like, it's not in, like, my favorites. So, I don't know. I have nothing to say about it.
We'll go back on this once we get all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just, like, brief explanation, then we'll do the whole list and say some stuff we want us to do. Number 4. 3, 2, 1. The Incredibles.
Toy Story. Okay, so we all have different films.
Up first.
Okay, I love the movie. It has an amazing soundtrack. The characters are spot on. Everything is wonderful, and it is a good movie. Also, like, there is nothing more whimsical than, like, pulling your whole ass house out of the
I have to admit,
with a bunch of balloons. Oh my god, I love that movie so much.
I have to admit that Up, like, everyone has thought of that before. Like, how many balloons would, like, take to decorate your whole house up.
I wanted to try it when I was little.
Yeah,
I got home and I'm like, we've got to do this.
I remember liking Up a lot more when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
The reason, I don't know why I put it so low, and I might change my mind later on, but right now it's low for, I think, it just, I don't feel that same connection to it anymore.
It has that, like, Mary Poppins magic to it. And I am really a sucker for that.
Mary Poppins.
And I didn't rate these as, like, how good, like the movie is. It's just how much I liked it.
No, that's the same way.
So yeah.
All personal preference here.
Yeah. So I can go next then.
Okay, number 4.
So I know you guys had Toy Story a lot lower than I did, but for me, this movie is it was a great like first film for Pixar. They did the first full feature length 3D film, which is impressive, especially because the animation still holds up and is better than some stuff today. I really personally just love the film. Like, you have the start of Andy and the toys, and you have Woody with, like, all his flaws and trying to, like, get to be interacting with, like, Buzz. And I thought that was all really great. It's just an incredible film, and it's always gonna hold that spot for me.
Pretty cool. Yeah, Toy Story 1 is very classic, very, this is Pixar's first film, and they did a fabulous job with it. I just feel like the other ones are better than it, but that's just a testament to how good Toy Story 1 and Toy Story franchise is.
As a whole, it's great.
Like, normally never the sequel is better than the original. And so having the sequel better than the original is kind of incredible, which goes into my next thing of The Incredibles.
Flawless transition there.
That was
nice
perfect.
Job.
You're doing
Very
good.
smooth.
The Incredibles is an amazing take on a superhero movie that also introduces family aspects to it and the importance of working together as a family. And honestly, it's one of the best superhero films of all time, in my opinion. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. You can see I have the Dark Knight trilogy back there.
The Dark Knight trilogy is great, but The Incredibles is always just...
The Incredibles, though.
That is a, like, big step to take, but I agree with you. Like... I don't know. That's such a good movie. But
The Incredibles...
I did not have it up there.
Yeah, I love The Incredibles. I remember watching Incredibles 2 in theaters, and I was like Incredibles 1 in theaters, and it was phenomenal. I remember watching it on like the plane when I was going to Florida, because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I was like, oh, let's just watch Incredibles 1. And then the whole time I was so just into it, and I just love the film so much, and that's why it's on my number 4 spot. Does anyone want to review on that?
The humor that movie has it isn't subtle, and I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's very out there.
Yeah. I really love the humor that movie has.
Joel?
But I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with Aislyn. The humor is really great, and then Syndrome is probably my all-time favorite Pixar villain.
Syndrome
like,
is
he's great.
Wonderful.
He's sometimes like he manages to be both like the comic relief character and the villain.
Yeah, and like the
I
very
really
threatening.
love that.
It's great.
And also with like Incredibles, it's not how the Incredibles came incredible. It's how Syndrome came to be as a villain. You have your heroes already established, and then you have the villain as a story.
Who becomes a villain because
of
them.
the
Yeah.
Also, can we just take a moment for Bon Voyage? I know he got like 0 screen time, but I love him so much.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Wonderful. So now we're going to go into number 3. Number Trace. I had to think about that for a second there. Triangle. 3 sides. Number 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Monsters Inc.
Incredibles.
Coco.
So I should probably start because we just had a
just
discussion
talked
on
about
this.
The Incredibles.
Like, we just talked about it, and it's my 3rd best film. It's just so good. Like, I love everything about it. All the characters work. The villain is, like I said, just basically flawless. You have the action goes really, really fluid. The animation still really holds up nicely today, and everything about it just all works together to put together this incredible film.
And we already abbreviated why we like Incredibles, so we can go to Coco.
Well, we already had a discussion about it, but just like it's so good. Like you can watch that movie as many times as you want and never get bored of it, because there's details in there that like
it's very philosophical.
You can watch it like every day.
You can analyze that film.
Yeah, you could like take every frame and you'd still miss something. Like they really put everything in there, and I love that. Also, the music is...
Yeah, the music is
Beautiful.
just, it's the best in the entire franchise.
Yeah, I can agree on the music that is, like, the best, because it's about music. Like,
Mhm.
ultimately, it's about music and family, and I feel like that's really important nowadays, too. Which we'll have a whole podcast on that, probably,
Oh boy.
About music
Stay
and
tuned.
family.
about music. Stay tuned. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay,
What did you
I have Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
Monsters, Inc. How do I describe Monsters, Inc.? It's one of the most original takes that they've done.
Yeah.
Call me out on this. A lot of the movies here, like Cars, like what happens if cars were real? What happens if you flew your balloon with, well, fill your house with balloons? You know, Toy Story, like what's the life of a toy like? Inside Out, what are your emotions feeling? But Monsters, Inc., though, takes the aspect of the monster in your closet. Are they just doing their job? Like, it's a very creative thing to, like, think about, that screams give energy.
And I remember when I was younger, I always watched that movie, and it always made me feel a lot better, because I was always, like, really scared of the dark. As a kid, I'm still scared of the dark. But we're not gonna talk about that.
Turn off the lights.
No, let's not. But that movie always made me feel better about, like, just going to sleep at night.
Because they're just doing their
Because,
job.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
not there to hurt you. They're just there because they, like, want to help their world, and that really, like,
Or if you're in the
made
Pixar
things
theory,
better for
it's
me.
Earth far in the future. That's a whole other topic. The Pixar theory is
We
Whoa.
could do like
I'm
a
sorry,
whole, like,
what?
twice as long podcast
That's
on
about
that
the Pixar
alone.
theory. There's a whole book on it. So the Super Colin Brothers do a lot into it. It's the theory that all the Pixar films are connected in one universe on Earth,
Like
and it
Marvel?
starts with it
Okay,
starts with
cool.
Good Dinosaur and ends with Monsters Inc. Or Brave, however you want to go.
Yeah, however you want to go.
because
about it.
technically,
yeah.
Boo is the person, the witch in Brave.
Okay, alright, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna go. That's
We're not
that's a
gonna go
really
into the
long
Pixar
discussion.
We can talk about maybe after, but
Yeah.
Pixar theory goes way in depth, and I'll show you a video, and I'll send you a
Mhm.
video about it, and you
Let's
can
do it,
watch it.
yeah.
It's like a 40-minute video.
I'll send you
Awesome.
more videos.
I'm ready for it.
Wonderful, beautiful.
Okay, number 2.
Oh yeah, Monsters Inc. Yeah, beautiful film, wonderful
Yeah.
film.
Mhm.
Love Sully and
Sully and Mike are probably
Sully and
like
Mike.
the
Oh my
most,
God,
just
yeah.
the best,
the most
pair.
iconic duo
Yeah.
ever in like cinematic history, except
Mhm.
like maybe Dumb and Dumber, but you know.
It's Pixar.
I would not put
I like
Dumb and Dumber
Dumb-
by Mike and Sully, but okay.
You know, that's
Yeah.
I have Dumb and Dumber down there in my VHS tapes, but I just like Dumb and Dumber. I'm sorry, it's just hilarious. And just Randall as like the villain, but it's actually like the main dude. I forgot his name.
And then you got Monsters University just building on that.
Yeah, there's more
Mhm.
like how Randall was, you know, got the grudge against them and stuff.
Mhm.
So awesome. Number 2, we all had different ones.
Y'all put, like, my first and second, like, solo on your lists, so we might have to have a discussion.
Yeah.
But
3, 2, 1. Inside
Wall-E.
Out.
Brave.
So, who's gonna start?
Do you want to say why Brave is better
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
Number-
I'd love to start.
number?
Because I have it as
11?
19th, so...
A lot of people have Brave low. Like a lot of people. Not just
I know, but it really, like, hits me because, like,
me. I can see why.
I see myself in that movie so much. Like, just the whole, like, the mystery and the, magic, yeah. But also, Merida is an incredible character.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She is maybe, like, my favorite, like, Disney princess. Could you
Yeah.
call her that?
It's probably the best that they could portray a Disney princess film in Pixar.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Pixar did a really good job.
She's really a really
She
cool
seems
character.
like she-
and
To be honest, she seems a lot like you in some ways.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being 100% honest, like, the way that, just, like, that adventurous type that still kind of, like, is girly, but still goes on adventures and still loves outdoors. Like, that's totally you.
Minus the accent, you have Aislyn.
Minus the accent, and you're a little bit... yeah, okay. We'll get to that later, because this is a podcast. We're not going to talk about that personal stuff. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, no gossip.
No, it's not gossip. It's just something that I don't think I would want to say on the podcast.
Awesome. Cool.
Wonderful.
Why did you guys put this movie so low? I'm not, like, digging at you.
I like the other movies more.
Yeah. The other movies are just
fair.
so much better, and I feel like they did the best they could trying to do their take on a princess movie, like Ethan said before, but at the same time, there are just things that I don't really like about the film. Like, it was good, just, like, not as good as I think it could have been.
Okay.
I think with Brave, so, when you watch the trailers for Brave, you think of it as more of like, oh, it's an adventurous girl just doing a bunch of stuff, but in the main aspect of the film, like half the film is all about her and her mother,
Mm-hmm.
and they set it up in a way that's good, but also unexpected. Like, it just doesn't feel like that's what the movie was going for, but it was at the same time. It kind of just, I don't know how to say it. It's very twisty, you know, like, she turns into a bear, like, whoa, like, you know, I don't know how to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's a really good film. I rated it like a 9.3 or something out of 10. So it gives a testament to how much these other films are amazing. Anything else you want to elaborate on why Brave is fabulous?
I mean, the style of the movie, it's not, like, overly realistic, but the color scheme, I guess, and the whole, like, the way that they, like, introduce, like, sound into that movie, especially with, like, the wisps.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things ever. Also, it holds a lot of nostalgia for me, because I watched it a lot when I was a little kid, so...
Yeah. So I can see that. But yeah, that's understandable. Awesome.
Yeah. So by process of elimination, I'm pretty sure R1 and 2, Ethan, are just
Wally
the same
Inside Out.
but flipped.
So let's Aislyn do her number one real quick, and then we'll talk about our 1 and 2.
Okay, my number 1 is Ratatouille. I love that movie so much.
It's also Castle's favorite movie.
Yeah, well, it's a good movie. Like, it's so solid in, like, just, like, it's charming, and the humor is, like, it's in all of the little nuances, in all the characters, and all of, like, the scenes and the setup, and like, the animation is so, it's beautiful. Like, Paris, also, if you haven't watched it, like, in French, you should definitely watch it in French. It makes it way better. But I like the message of, like, doing what you love, even though it can be, like, rough for, like, other people. Like, you shouldn't, like, change yourself for, like, someone's expectations of you. And I really like that.
Like social norms. And
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah. I get it. I get why you put Ratatouille that high. I feel like just for me, this doesn't hit that much for me, I guess. I didn't really watch it that much when I was younger, and I recently watched it again, and I liked it a lot. It's just, I felt if I had to put a place for it, it would be where I put it, and maybe a little higher. But it's so hard rating these films.
It is. It's, with the exception of Cars 2, it's like an impossible task to put all of these.
Yeah, Cars 2 is the only one where you can be like,
That's last. That is
just
we're not gonna talk about
I didn't
this
even
film.
rewatch it. I think I watched it like twice, and I'm like, no.
Even as a kid, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it as a kid either. Cars 1 I liked a lot as a kid, but like Cars 2 was Cars 2. That's how I feel about Cars 2. Yeah, Ratatouille is interesting. It's the most critically acclaimed film that Pixar's ever made, I believe.
Well, it's a good movie. Like,
It is a really good movie. We don't
disagree. We love it. It's just like
we have other better ones.
Yeah.
That we like
yeah,
more.
that's fair.
other better ones.
Okay. It's all personal preference. Okay, so me and Jill have Wall-E and Inside Out are our top 2. what makes Inside Out better than Wall-E?
I feel like the thing with Inside Out is you have Riley. Yes, she's like a 12-year-old girl, but she's just such a relatable character. Like, everybody goes through this. Like, everybody has it, and you have to realize that sometimes you have to have.
Me and you cannot
sadness
relate, but Aislyn can relate because you were once a 12-year-old.
That is true.
Well, I mean, like, a universal, like, not relatable, it's just, like, universally relatable with the emotions and, like, what goes on, like...
What if emotions have emotions?
Yeah, that's
literally
also a
the-
topic for another day.
Well, that's like a sad, because joy has sadness in her.
And
Exactly,
sadness
and
has
you can-
joy.
But, like, who has the emotions in her head?
And you can...
This is
oh my god.
very...
You can, like, relate with even her emotions. Like,
Riley's so relatable.
deeply.
Yeah, like,
Like,
Riley's the most relatable character in all Pixar.
easily, yeah.
Maybe all of Disney.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
but
like, you think Meredith is...
No.
You think Meredith's more relatable?
I think Riley is more relatable to more people, but I relate more to Merida because
Merida.
Yeah.
she's such a cool character.
She's really cool. You have to admit. Yeah, she's a very...
But Riley is more relatable. Like, just in real life.
Yeah.
Because Inside Out takes a lot of what real life is and just says it's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's
Yeah.
okay to have multitude of emotions. It's not the end of the world. It's like...
Yeah, and it's a good thing. Like, you need to have these other emotions.
Yeah, Inside Out, when I rewatched it, really hit home to me. Because as a high schooler, I've been going through multitude of emotions and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And I feel like both of you guys can, at least Aislyn for sure, can know for sure that it's a hard time. It's a really
Yeah.
hard time. And seeing that happen on screen, really just...
It makes you feel like you're not, like,
alone.
Yeah,
and
like-
it gives you a understanding of your mind more than you understood before.
Mhm.
Like, it just tells you that it's okay to be sad, and like joy is always going to be there in the end, even if it's sad. So that film really just gives a really good life lesson, and
One of the best from Pixar.
probably
The
the best.
Yeah, the best. I mean, it's my number one.
Which is understandable. I have a
Mhm.
number 2 because my number 1, I've had a number 1 forever, as I can possibly remember. But Inside Out, I can talk all day about this movie.
Same. I could just
I
go
love the
on
way
and
that they
on.
like made her brain like seem like a real place. Like they had like short-term thought and like long-term.
And yeah,
and
like the
forgotten.
film studio
Yeah.
for the dreams and
Yes. Oh my god.
And then abstract thought.
Like I really loved like the little things that they put in there, like the train of thought, and like just the part about like her fears and stuff, like way deep in there, and that was really cool, and I liked the way that they did that, but like it didn't hit me as much as some of the other ones did.
Yeah.
It doesn't have enough magic for me, you know. If you're gonna like make a film like so like real and relatable, I feel like there has to be some element of like
You're gonna
something
love,
there for me to like really love it.
You're gonna love Onward. Have you seen?
Yes,
I'm excited.
I am
I
so
am
ready
very
for that
Onward
movie.
is gonna be so...
Oh my
we
god.
should all go. We should
yeah,
all
we should go
Let's
together.
do it.
Okay.
Oh my
and
God.
Soul, that's coming too.
Oh, Soul's good too. But
But I'm
is-
more excited for Onward because
Onward. Soul takes
Chris
it.
Pratt.
It
Soul
looks so
The thing with
good.
Soul is like Coco, but in a different look
Yeah.
of Coco. Because Coco is more the Mexican tradition. This is more of a Christianity, like more of like a...
yeah, I guess we'll kind of
US.
find out what it is.
We'll find out what it is, because we only got a teaser trailer. But Onward, fantasy suburban.
I love that
I'm
idea.
With-
That is
so
great.
ready.
Chris Pratt-
I'm
with
so ready.
Chris Pratt
And
and
Tom
Tom Holland.
That is all. This is the movie I've been waiting for since both of them blew up in the media. Like
2 years ago.
yeah.
2,
I
3
mean, I
years
think
ago.
it was like 5 for Chris
Even
Pratt.
in just
Oh,
the
yeah.
trailers,
Guardians.
the style and the colors look like so beautiful.
And the character designs.
Yes. Oh my god.
Like how the unicorns are like just
Ready.
eating out of the trash can like rodents.
We're already like acclaiming this movie, and we're
This movie's gonna be our top 5 now.
yeah. This is on. This is gonna be up there.
We have to update it once
Yeah.
Onward comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, does Onward come out next year?
I
Yeah,
think it's 2020.
spring.
Yeah.
I think it's March.
Yes, let's all go.
Yes, you do this.
Okay, so yeah, Inside Out, beautiful film, beautiful story, and kind of Just wonderful. Wall-E.
So good.
I'm gonna have to, like, put a little disclaimer here. I haven't seen it in, like, a long time, and I don't remember, like, most of the plot points, so that is why it's so low for me, but also, like, just, I don't know.
Go watch it.
Okay, alright.
You've just gotten the film out, okay.
Eva! Oh my god.
So, it places second for me and first for you, which is saying a lot about this movie. It has stood the test of time, like, oh my god, this movie came out 11 years ago. What? It feels like I just went to see it, but everything just works in the film. The first half with Wall-E, just, like, you see him going around, and it's just so subtle in the happy little way he, like, has his facial expressions,
The
and
first
it's just
third
like, yeah.
Of the film is no dialogue, and it
It
works so well. It really tests of the show not tell aspect of story writing, like 101 creative writing. Like, first thing you'll learn in your first lesson is show not tell.
Yeah.
And it does that in a way that makes it so beautiful to tell a love story between two robots.
Yeah, it's Pixar at its greatest, honestly.
I think it's a masterpiece of film.
And I agree with you, and, like, I don't know, I love that they make it a love story, but also have, like, that really, like, solid social commentary about the whole planet is covered in trash, and also they're trying to kill this, like, one last plant.
And then there's the robot that's just sent there to follow his orders, and that really worked too. Because, like, it feels like something they didn't have to write in, but they did, and it made the movie even better than it was.
Because that was the villain.
Like, yeah.
It was the Axiom itself.
Yeah, Axiom.
Which is... Wall-E is a social commentary on society of convenience, and I love that, but it also tells us really one of the best love stories in Disney with basically no dialogue, with okay, how do I say this? With the two main characters that love each other only being able to say, like, 2 or 3 words.
Yeah, and it's just... It's so good.
The way that this movie has aged, like, it came out in, 2008? So...
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
It's still...
10, 11 years ago.
11, yeah. It's still, like, so relevant to, like, what the world is going through now. And that's really impressive. But
I remember going to see this movie at the drive-in.
Same.
I've seen a lot of movies at the drive-in, if you didn't know. Like, the Gemini drive-in before it closed, which is sad. Now I go to the one in Chautauqua that's like 40 minutes away, but...
I used to go there all the time because I lived up there.
Yeah. Stardust Drive-In's so awesome. 2 theaters. They were showing 4 movies. It was like Toy Story 4, Lion King, Aladdin, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Pretty cool. I watched all of them. I was really tired, but, like...
We went and did that in 2015 when they were showing Age of Ultron, Jurassic World, and then 2 more, which I don't remember. I think it was John Wick 2 or 1. It was 1.
John Wick's pretty good. So yeah, Wall-E... I think we said a lot about Wall-E. It's just something that you can watch over and over again, and there's so much more you can see, like, within his home, he has all these artifacts and stuff. You can, like, literally go through and see every little artifact he has. Like, the spork he puts, like, right in the middle between
the Rubik's Cube.
The Rubik's Cube, and how Eve just solves it right away.
I really love his character design. Like, that...
It's so expressive.
The facial expressions, like, they're small, subtle, but you can, like, you just gotta love it.
And it's so human in the way that, like, he expresses both, like, love and curiosity. It's very cute. I really love it.
Yeah, because he's the only Wall-E that survived, and it shows because he has more human to him. He's not just a robot. He actually has wants.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think, like, how would a robot have its own conscience? But it does. And it shows because he probably watched the films. Like, I forgot what film he was watching. But I love the music in that film where it's like... Or at the beginning where they're going onto the Earth and it has like where they're going over all of the stuff, like the rubbish and stuff, and has that happy song in the background while you're looking through this whole wrecked earth, and it's just something about that. Just love this movie so much, and we should honestly listen to it more in this world we have now because it's very important. Any last thoughts on WALL-E or anything?
I guess the reason WALL-E didn't like resonate with me is because like they were in a world like completely devoid of like.
We'll say like so many times.
Yeah.
I realize that. We should have a like counter just in the top right corner.
Take a shot. Die of alcohol poisoning.
Take a shot every time we say like. Take a shot every other, like every 3 times we say like. We probably still die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
No, we would have been dead when we were talking about like the Good Dinosaur. I didn't even try to do it.
But okay, so I think the reason that I didn't really like I didn't love this movie. I mean, I loved it, but I didn't love it as much as some of the other ones is because they were in a world that was totally like devoid of like art, I guess. WALL-E, like, he brought it into his home, and he was, like, he did his best, but you never, like, saw the creation process, I guess, and, you didn't see enough, like, human spirit, I guess, as, like, you could have.
Well, I feel like because it's 700 years after the humans left.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and, like, so it would be hard, but I still feel like you got a lot of, like, what, like, the bad stuff about humans, but you never got any of the things that, like, made, this is gonna sound really weird,
well,
but
when he's, like,
you didn't get any of the stuff that make humans good.
When you go to the captain, you remember when he was looking up Earth? Like, Earth, what is Earth? And he gives, like, oh, this is about Earth, blah, 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 on the screen. That was supposed to show how good Earth was and how good Earth was at the time. And it's just supposed to show that it's a wasteland now, that they abandoned it. And that's dying. Yeah,
and I know that that's more realistic, but it's still...
Do you think
depressingly realistic?
Yeah, it's really depressing.
So just like, it's not like a thing on the movie, it's more personally, like, you feel like...
that movie makes me happy in the little things, but it makes me really sad when you think about the whole picture. And I watch movies so that I can, like, pretend that nothing real exists. So when
Unlike the movie
when a movie gives me something depressingly realistic, it just turns me away.
It's like the movie we're making, though.
Yeah, I know. So...
Is that gonna, like, turn you away from making it?
I mean... No, because...
You're making it.
I'm making it, but, like...
You wouldn't watch it, like, on your free time.
I wouldn't watch it, because it's...
Will you watch it?
It's too realistic. Yeah, I'll watch it when it's over, because we're gonna put so much work into it, but... I don't like...
It's not one of those popcorn films where you put it in.
No, it's not one that I would watch over and over again. It's one that I would watch once or twice to, like, get the message, and then maybe analyze it once, but I would not watch it for fun.
WALL-E?
It's just because, like, it has such good commentary about the world.
It's understandable.
But yeah,
some books are like that. Some books are like
my
that.
rant.
Yeah.
But...
Some books are like that. I'm like, I don't want to read this again because it's so sad. It's like so just real.
And you turn the page and keep going, and
like it's like The Fault in Our Stars. Did you guys ever read that?
I think I know it.
It was hard to read because you just kept getting like put down.
Yeah.
It is
like
hard to read.
As soon as like one good thing happened for the main characters, it's just like, no, now they are dying. Sorry. But
why did we read it? Yeah. Any other commentary on like any of the lists of movies? Just anything like any notable mentions you want to mention throughout this that you feel are low on your list, but there's like a reason, or they're high on the list for a reason, or they're in the reason that they are because of something else? Like, is there anything you want to explain through any of the other films?
Okay, I just want to appreciate the fact that I have Brave at the very bottom of my list. You have Brave like halfway through your list, and you have Brave at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So
movies are about like being able to interpret them in your own way.
I think that's probably why we have it all different.
Same with Up. See why I have it pretty low.
You know what we should do? We should have a like commentary on 80s movies at some point.
Next podcast. No. One of the podcasts, 80s movies.
You should invite me back for that one. I love 80s movies.
I have a lot of them down there. 70s and 80s.
I am ready to tear the Breakfast Club apart.
Yes!
Let's do it.
Let's tear the Breakfast Club apart. So anything else while we're at the topic of movies?
Can we talk about the shorts?
Shorts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
Have you guys, like, seen a lot of them?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. We're going to have all the lists in the description down below. So we'll have my list, Joel's list, Aislyn's list down there. If you guys want to talk about your top fives or kind of like bad at us for some of our bad
they're just going to go at you a lot.
Because I have probably the most controversial list here.
Okay.
But I don't know. Really, we all have pretty controversial picks in some of the places. Me and Joel agreed on a couple things. I think we agreed on like one or two spots. So yeah, we'll have our lists down below. You can put your stuff in there, and also give us ideas for a name of the podcast and a podcast topics, and we'll go down there and respond to you guys and try to take any topics that we want.
I can just respond with my other YouTube channel because I'm gonna watch this.
I will also have the links to the YouTube channels in the description, or any plug-in links for me, Aislyn, or Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So
we should link the Pixar Theory too.
We will link the Pixar Theory also.
Yeah.
And Super Colin Brothers will link that because they are the inspiration for this. So, shorts.
Okay, shorts. Which ones have you guys seen?
Most of them.
Like
that is a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a short for every film.
Mm-hmm.
I have not watched the WALL-E short.
Me neither.
I don't remember
yeah.
most of these shorts. Not gonna lie. There's only one that I really remember that stuck with me, and it was the one right before Incredibles 2.
You can watch WALL-E again, and
I was just looking. They have Presto on here.
Oh,
Presto short. Do you guys remember that one?
No, Teenage Slim.
Well, okay. So there's like this magician, and he's got like a hat, and he's trying to get the rabbit to come out of the hat, and
I saw this.
Yeah. Okay.
That. That's a good one.
I love it so much. I don't know. There's something that really gets me about the whole like retro magic thing with the like top hat and suit. I love that. But
the top hat, I have a top hat up there.
The one short that has stuck with me since I saw it in theaters is the one before Incredibles 2, Bao.
Bao.
The story,
my God.
it's like you have the little Bao, and he's just like going around, but then he grows up, and then you find out it's his older brother that left, and it's just so sad, but I love it.
I remember seeing that, and like everyone I was with. This top hat.
You guys can't see this, so I gave her a top hat.
Oh no!
And it's like way too big for her head, so it's just covering her eyes.
Jaunty little top hat. No. Okay. I remember the people I saw Incredibles 2 with did not understand Bao. They thought it was really creepy.
What?
And yeah,
who did you see it with? Who?
My aunt and uncle and their kids.
Oh, come on.
They have bad opinions about most things, but
did they not like Incredibles 2? Did they not like it?
They didn't like it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did have a little bit of a
show them the
fight with them
podcast
after.
Yeah, show them the podcast. Make them watch the entire thing. I think we've been going for an hour.
Hour and 8 minutes.
Dang.
But yeah, they didn't understand it, and I had to have a fight with them afterwards because, like, it's so pretty, but like it's so sad.
Yeah.
Because it's like real, but like it's. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the way that they animated it is like the softest thing in the world. You just reach out and touch the lady's face, and then touch the dumplings, and it. Oh my god! I love that one. Have you guys? Do you remember Lava? I think it was.
Oh
viral.
with
the mountain.
What movie that was before? Wasn't that
sure.
Inside Out?
I don't remember.
Might
it was 2014.
I think it was Inside Out.
It might have been.
Was there a
Pixar or Good Dinosaur? Might have been Good Dinosaur. Inside Out.
I'm pretty sure it was Inside Out.
It's probably Inside Out.
Yeah.
I remember the one where it was like before. I think it was before Bug's Life, where it was the the
It was
chess
Inside
one.
Out. Yeah.
I think that was before Bug's Life, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That was pretty. I remember that, and I also remember the shorts that they used to make before they made animated films.
Yeah, I always remember watching those as
Like
a
the
kid. We had
Ball.
like the collection of the ones.
Pixar shorts.
Mhm.
They also have new ones on Disney Plus. I've not seen them though, so you need to get Disney Plus.
We'll see.
I'll lend you my subscription just so you can watch films.
How did you guys feel about Lava? I know a lot of people really liked it because of the song.
It's pretty
But-
solid.
So I like. Okay, so
It's a good song.
I got introduced to Lava because during Peter Pan,
Mhm.
backstage they would have a ukulele there, and they would always sing it. They sang it so much. It was so just. A lot of the adult cast, because I was with the adult cast, they were just like. Because it was just a couple of my friends, my ex was there, and they would just constantly be singing it over and over and over and over and over, and you get it.
Yeah.
And so it just got annoying after a while.
Theater kids.
Yeah, theater
Yeah,
kids. Exactly. So
exactly.
I can't say anything because I'm a theater kid also.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
same.
really can't say anything.
We all are. I think. Well, yeah, you are.
This is why we're here.
This is why we're here, because we love movies, we love theater, we love music.
I'm transforming.
Ooh.
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 Silence.
Anyway,
yeah, that was weird. That's the first time that's
that
happened
was
this
really
entire
weird.
podcast. If we had a video of this, if I had a video camera, maybe next time I'll have a camera, so they can look at our facial expressions and just
Yeah.
Yeah, the short Lava's good. I like Lava. It's just the song just annoys me now.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Have you guys seen Kitbull? Do you remember that one?
No, because it was on there.
The one
It's on
about
Disney Plus.
The cat and the bulldog.
I don't.
Actually, wait a minute. I might
remember
have seen that.
It's so sweet, but it's really sad, I think.
How'd you feel about Riley's first date?
Oh, we love that
We
one.
literally watched that before we started this.
You're right before.
I liked that.
It's cute.
It's cute, yeah. And
Have a
since
dad.
I haven't seen Inside Out in a year or two, it really is it's sweet to bring you back
Overprotected
to
dad.
that. Yeah.
Inside Out made me get the idea for this.
Yeah.
Because I love that film. Yeah, the dad, and then they both
Yeah,
rock
yeah.
music because they're both he was in a band.
We played a lot of
love
AC/DC.
Yeah, a lot of AC/DC. And then Friday,
Yep.
I love that short.
So you were talking about Jerry's game before we started this?
Yeah, Jerry's game.
What is that about?
So, how do I describe it? I remember it as he is playing chess. It's like a chess game in a park, and it's really
Like the end of X-Men?
it's before it's before Bug's Life, and it's really the animation's really good for one Bug's Life.
It's better than the movie.
Yeah, you see, it's better than Bug's Life. You see the short.
Well,
and
I
you're
mean, that's not that high of a bar
Yeah.
to clear.
Yeah.
you see the short, and you're like, oh, this is really good. And then you see Bug's Life, and
Why is it grayscale?
why is it all grayscale now?
Why
Because
is there no story?
it's because it's Bug's Life doesn't have a story. Then with Bug's Life, so Ants, the movie Ants. You know the movie Ants?
It was the one with the ants, and there was the queen, and then they were I vaguely remember it. I haven't seen it
Ants
since third grade.
took the story from Bug's Life, and so there's two films that came out the same year that were basically the same plots.
Mm-hmm.
Ants and Bug's Life.
Nice.
Because Ants, the studio for Ants, stole the plot to Bug's Life, changed it a bit, and released it.
Didn't DreamWorks make it?
It was DreamWorks, yeah. DreamWorks
it
stole
was
the plot to
DreamWorks.
fix.
And isn't
fix
DreamWorks
those.
also broken off from Disney? So
Yeah.
it's all coming together.
Disney
This is a
owns-
big conspiracy here.
It's a huge conspiracy.
What doesn't Disney own at this point, honestly?
I don't know.
That's a really good question.
Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon,
Okay, yeah.
Amazon, Apple.
Apple could buy Disney.
Apple could buy Disney. That's the thing.
but they're not going to because that would be stupid.
Apple would not know what to do with it.
Yeah,
That's true. Maybe if they moved all of the people over.
Disney themed iPhones.
Disney themed iPhones. Every iPhone comes with a free Disney movie of your choice.
I mean, I would.
No, every
I'm up
iPhone,
for it.
every iPhone comes with a year subscription to Disney Plus.
I would buy.
I would buy it too. Actually, if you have Verizon Unlimited, you get a free year of Disney Plus. So that works. Any more shorts?
Ooh, have you seen Smash and Grab?
No.
The one about the robots. I really like that one, but I don't know. Not many people I feel like that I've talked to have seen it. So
I'm gonna have to watch all the Pixar shorts now. Cause
Yeah, same. I have the collection at my house too. Just straight through.
some of them came out like on YouTube too. So
Yeah, they have some of the Disney Plus originals like no, that's another movie. Float is a Disney Plus original that came out this year. I don't want to see that. There's a couple other ones. What about the one where it was the kid? It was a toy box. It was before Toy Story 3, I think. I don't know. He was like getting bullied, and then there was the toy box, and then it was like it was Lost and Found, and then the animagic came.
Oh, I remember that one, and it was Joe, and he was like really happy. And
yeah. I forget what short that was because he went to Lost and Found. He was really sad, but then he found his owner again. It was before Toy Story 3.
Yeah. I vaguely remember this one.
Let me look at the list of shorts real quick.
I don't even remember what movie it was from, but it might not have even been Pixar. I honestly don't remember it. I remember seeing this one. It's like this guy chasing a paper airplane around because he wrote a letter on
Doug's Special Mission.
I feel like I've heard of that one or at least seen a couple minutes of it.
You have really good handwriting.
Familiar. Thank you.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Have you guys seen Your Friend the Rat? I think it was from like 2007.
From Ratatouille.
I would assume that it's from Ratatouille, but I never saw it, even though Ratatouille is my favorite movie.
I think it came out like with the DVD release.
I think it's
Ratatouille.
Doug's Special Mission. Let me look. I'm gonna look this up.
Paper airplane one.
Is that the paper airplane one?
Isn't Doug's Special
Wait, can I see
Mission
this
like
quick?
a thing for Up?
I'm gonna look for.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, because
Okay.
Doug. Yeah,
Doug is the.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Short before Toy Story 3. What was the one before Toy Story 4?
Here, I think it might have been Partly Cloudy.
There was no short before Toy Story 4.
Do you guys remember who made Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
DreamWorks, I think.
DreamWorks.
Okay, I like.
We should do a DreamWorks one next.
We should do a DreamWorks one.
But that will be.
Megamind.
Megamind
I love
is.
the movie so much.
We're not even talking about Disney at this point.
Megamind is day and night. I think it's day and night.
I'm trying to figure out
Silence
which.
and Sound.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one this is. Okay, is it?
Is it day and night? Because day and night's the one that came before Toy Story 3. The one that came before Toy Story 2 was Luxo Jr., which...
What do you guys remember about that short?
Luxo Jr.?
No,
Yeah.
the one that you're trying to find.
It was like a lost and found item, and that's all I remember from
Oh wait, wasn't that Lou?
Was that Lou?
I think it was. And
It was before Cars 3?
plot twist. What?
Wait a minute. This is not right.
Wasn't there?
It is Lou. It is Lou.
And it was before Cars 3.
Yeah, it was Lou. That's probably why you haven't seen it. Because
Oh, that's sweet.
I know
That
he's
was
no
really
lost
cute.
and found. I would think you would think it'd be part of Toy Story 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's
Oh,
a short
Cars
called
3,
Sorry, go ahead.
that's like really recent.
Yeah, that was just really recent. I think it was.
Okay, there's a short called Miss Fritter's Racing School from 2017, and it's like a feature-related film, but I have never heard of anyone named Miss Fritter.
Miss Fritz from Magic School Bus.
That's Miss Frizzle.
Wait.
Frizzle. Oh my god, she reminds me of you too. Miss Frizzle does also.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'll take it.
Is that a compliment?
I mean, yeah, I love Miss Frizzle.
Wait, wasn't Miss Fritter like the giant like school bus from Cars 3?
Wait, actually, maybe.
That would make sense, since racing school.
Yeah, like when they were down in the pit and like we could talk about Pixar all day.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It was the school bus that was going around in the rally. Cars 3.
We could just go on and on and on.
When was the first, the very first, Pixar film?
Toy Story 1.
Was
1995.
1995, yeah.
That's really weird. The first short came out before it.
So Pixar came out to be from Steve Jobs. It was a software, yeah. Steve Jobs made Pixar, and they sold it to somebody. And then they correlated with Disney to help on Toy Story 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just kind of kept their partnership with Disney until Disney bought them. So Disney kind of helps them with all the films, but Pixar itself is separate from Disney. It's like studios.
But then Disney also makes spin-offs of Pixar films.
Yeah, like Planes.
Yeah, like Planes is...
We have to do Disney princess movies next.
We should do that.
Yeah, okay,
that would be fun.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
I will return.
We have a lot of ideas. We have Marvel movies with Grayson.
Oh boy, that's gonna take a really long time.
Could I get in on this?
It's 22 films still.
I know.
Could I get in on
have you watched all of them yet?
I think I've seen almost all of them. If not
okay, I'll make sure you watch all of them before we do it because I want to make sure we watch all of them. Grayson's doing it, and then maybe you come back.
Yeah, can I please get in on Marvel?
Yes.
If I can come back for anyone.
I think Grayson wants to do Star Wars too. So
I have had heated discussions with Grayson.
I think we should get Dylan in here with Star Wars.
Yeah, you might want to replace me with Dylan for Star Wars
Alex.
because I know
Alex
very
the other
much
host
about Star Wars.
Just get a bunch of bros to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes, a bunch of bros. I would call it that, but Aislyn's a co-host.
Yeah.
I can be a pro. Don't worry about it.
Just bros
and
Bros Podcast.
Bros Podcast. 4
bros sitting around one mic, talking about films.
Talk about Star Wars.
Talk about films. I love that. Okay, well, is there any more shorts you want to go over, or no? I think we're good.
Yeah.
Do you think we had a little heated discussion? Just kind of like
that was good. I don't think nothing got too heated. So
like My Brave. Kind of.
I mean, Brave.
Okay, yeah, but
Brave is like the only one. And I thought Wall-E was a little low, but like
it's all good. It's all good.
Because then I'm giving you the DVD to watch. So yeah, awesome. Thank you guys. Cool. Thank you, Joel, for coming this week.
No problemo.
This podcast is going to be coming out every Wednesday at noon. So stay tuned for next week, Wednesday at noon, which is December something. You can figure that out yourself. It's noon Central Time. So if you guys are interested for that, that's like
December 4th. December
4th, noon Central Time, 1 o'clock Eastern, and 10 o'clock Pacific Time. This has been the podcast, and I hope you guys will come and join us every week once we talk about more movies and pop culture and just life in general.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all guys in the next video. And also, one more thing, all of our lists are down in the description. All of plugs in the description. Also, you want to plug anything in here right now? Like any YouTube?
Yeah, I'll plug in my YouTube channel right now. Purple Plaza, please go subscribe. I just uploaded an insane video where we got probably poisoned. I don't know. It was bad.
Very clickbaity. Aislyn, you have anything to advertise?
I do not have a YouTube channel, so...
Okay, well, Aislyn advertises this YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like the video, and do more. This is on my YouTube channel, so, subscribe, like, and all that stuff. It might be moving over to the podcast channel, thinking about it. If this is the podcast channel, go like my channel, EthanFL, and I do games over there. Wonderful. I feel like this is a great podcast, and we'll see you all, guys, or you'll listen to us next week. Talk to you all later in the next one. Bye. Awkward silence.
Technical difficulties.
Stop it.
Stop.